we're going to talk about what Darin's doing to recruit agents. As you know, Darin is a well-known, great real estate professional in Fresno. And in addition to that, he joined Real Broker, which makes it easy to also recruit nationally for people to join your downline and revenue share across the country.
Yeah.
And you're seeing more of these models pop up, the EXPs and the Reals and the other ones where the geographic boundaries anymore that are kind of traditional with franchises where you sell a geographic area are kind of, under assault, so to speak, of that model with all the new technology. And we can do a webinar like this and much more of the work as a real estate professional is being done in the cloud. And, it also kind of requires you to update some of your more recruiting is, what can you do as an agent that's looking to maybe hire a couple agents to your team, or what can you do as a broker that's looking to hire agents to your brokerage? But also, again, not just locally, whatever recruiting plan that you do locally, why wouldn't you want it to maybe work nationally, right? Because it's so easy to work with. If someone wants to work with you, really location, work, especially after the pandemic, work has moved in professional services from a place that you go to something that you do. You guys like that? I heard that before. Like work is moving from a place that you go to more of a place something that you do. So I'm going to interview Darin today. My name's Frank again with Viral Marketing and Darin in Fresno. So Darin, thanks for being on here, man. Let's crush it for everybody today.
Thanks. Let's have a great day with it. Some of the recruiting strategies and stuff that you've brought to my life have been game changers. And I'd love to share some of that today. It's something that's making me right now a six-figure salary on a side hustle. And it's real money, and it's real. I love saying real. You say real all the time. When you join Real, you start to realize how much you use it. But it's a side hustle, and it's made me over six figures in the last 14 months. And it's a real part of our game now. And we do it very stealth, meaning we're not out there making calls. We're not out there harassing people. We're putting stuff out there so they call us and providing value.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about maybe how someone who is just starting to recruit, what they do. And then let's take the shift about kind of the philosophies that you're taking to recruit and what you do. Okay. So let's maybe start with, we have someone who's just starting the real estate team. We're looking to grow it, or we have someone that is in charge of recruiting at a brokerage, or maybe someone just joined one of these cloud brokerages and they want to go recruit and go after agents. Give me the mistakes or the rookie mistakes that are typically used when you do that, so we know from experience what not to do that most people do when they're first in that situation. Tell me.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I like first out of beginning agents starting to recruit for a team or a virtual brokerage that you get paid revenue share. I think you should start by just having really good conversations with every single agent you have a deal with. So I'm going to start with what you should do. Every person you have a deal with, ask them, how's business? How's your brokerage? How are things? And just very, very easily just have conversations with people. It's no different than real estate. You just want to get to know people. There's a girl named, I don't know, Frank, if you know her, Linda McKissick.
Oh, yeah.
You know Linda?
Very well.
Probably one of the top recruiters in the world. And she will tell you the only way to recruit is to not recruit, which, Frank, is kind of your thing. We're not recruiting. We're not out there making calls. We're not out doing it. So number one, that's what I would do if I was a new agent. Now, what would I not do? And what do we all fall into in this process? I would not be calling agents and saying, how's your brokerage? Would you like to come work with me? I'd be very careful recruiting people Linda McKissick's way. I'd be very careful recruiting people, and I would just get to know people. And my belief in recruiting, and it's Linda McKissick's way, is you get to know everybody. And 1/3, I believe it's 1/3, Frank, of agents switch brokerages every year. Isn't it about 30%?
Yeah.
So if you're at 30% and you're a friend of theirs and they get to a point where they're not happy and you've provided value, you've put into them, you've done what you're supposed to, I believe that's when they'll call you. So I think that's the better play than the hardcore calling people left and right.
Yeah. I don't think anybody wants to talk about switching brokerages.
People hate it.
Yeah, like if we did a webinar on, hey, come switch brokerages, or if you went out to an agent and talked about switching brokerages, that's a really, really, really hard in. That's like going out, and I'll just use the metaphor of dating, saying, let's get married. Huh? Who are you? Right.
Well, and if you want to use that metaphor, if you're out there making cold calls and doing what you're doing, you're calling married people. It's not good until we have single people.
Yeah.
They got to be a little pissed
Or a
off
little
at their
looking.
brokerage.
Yeah.
You and I had to talk about that on a
That's
recruiting
actually
thing.
really true. It is, you are calling married people, and
You're
asking
calling
for
married people.
Yeah. So I think when I was kind of setting you up with the question there, Darin, is you did answer it. Is the rookie mistakes is you start going out and telling you how great everyone in the brokerage is, how great your team is, and how wonderful
They don't care.
And they've heard it all before, right? So it's really more about probably reading the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which you probably have done a pretty good job with as a real estate agent, but now you have to apply it to a B2B setting. You have to go from selling B2C, like probably on a one-call close type of listing appointment, to now to a more B2B complex sell. And if I could give anyone here any advice on that from my own experience, is going to Amazon and just buying some books on consultative selling, or buying some books on the complex sale, or buying some books on B2B sales. It'll help you kind of reprogram the DNA in your head of how you think about kind of attracting someone in your life. That's more of a complex sale than typically speaking, a simple sale, which is probably just, come list my house, listing appointment, 20 minutes.
I don't think it's any different than going to an open house, right? If you do an open house and all you do is spout what you do, where you're at, how we can help you, and you don't become friends with them, you're never going to convert them anyway. So my thought is, you really put into people, you become friends with them. And if they ever decide to make a move, hopefully you're one of those conversations. That's my belief. I hope that follows you.
Well, that is the right answer. That's everyone's. I don't think it's a belief. I think that's the wisdom you learn going through the process of getting beat up, going about probably recruiting the wrong way.
Yeah.
Right. So now let's move into tactically. All right. So Darin and I sat down and we're like, what are the common principles you're going to see across all the great recruiters that are bringing people into their team, bringing people into their brokerage, whatever it may be? What's the common piece of truth? What's the principle? What's the model they're all following? That if you went to like any great coach's website or anyone really recruiting well, what are they following? And Darin, I'll just share this really quick for the audience, and then I want you to share how you're applying this model. So here's the model, everybody. I want you to think of an upside down triangle. At the very bottom of the funnel, you can think of it like a gold machine, putting dirt in at the top, and gold comes out of the bottom. So here's this gold machine. All right. So the gold machine is they hire you, or they buy from you, or they sign up with you. That's the bottom, right? But they're not going to do that until you meet with them one-on-one and you really listen about where they are now and where they want to go and what's working well now and what's not working well. And you really help them probably personalize a clear business plan. So I usually like to say it could be anything, man. Just be having drinks and hanging out, but probably more tactically is like you probably have met with somebody and you've really helped them personalize a business plan to their behavior style, their needs, and their goals. So you have to have a lot of, if you want to recruit, you got to have a lot of one-on-one meetings. But I wouldn't really call them recruiting meetings. I would call them more business planning meetings. You're going to help them personalize a business plan, right, Darin? Now, you're not going to get a lot of those meetings unless people really know you, like you, and trust you in some way as a colleague that can help them with their business. So the next step up the funnel from sign up to one-on-one business planning meetings, next step up the funnel is come to my seminar, come to my workshop, come to my event, come to my conference, come to my webinar, where people can spend some time with you at length in a one-to-one setting, right? Yep. And essentially that's you explain to them how to really execute your full business plan. So the workshop is probably the seminar, the workshop, typically speaking, it doesn't have to be, but it's like, I'm going to help you write a full business plan. We're going to go through a lead generation system, conversion system, listing appointment, transactions, all of it. Come to my half-day workshop, come to my full-day workshop. I'm going to help you write a plan, some type of career or professional plan for your life in depth, right? But the next step up the funnel, no one's going to come to your events and no one's going to come to your webinars, or no one's going to come to your conferences unless they kind of have an affinity towards you and know you and like you and trust you. And that's where your newsletter comes in, some type of agent training newsletter, some free agent training newsletter, whether it's publishing free videos, posting a podcast, TikToks, Instagram, whatever, but you're just putting stuff out in the world to attract agents to help and guide and answer commonly asked questions and provide free, helpful things so people get to see you at the top of the, there goes my coffee. At the top of the funnel, all right? To come to your workshops, to come to your one-on-one meetings and then sign up. And then you respect that funnel. That should all be really clear to you, Darin, right? Explain that to the audience now. Break that down. How have you applied that funnel in your 36 touch agent recruiting marketing plan?
So I have a agent who works with me on this, and basically we did go through.
Right back. But he gone.
Okay.
Explain this to everybody.
We did go through Frank's class and really thought about the funnel, and the funnel was no different than our real estate business. So we have to go meet people, but you're not going to meet people unless they like you. So we got to put things out there that that people get to know me. So what we put out is a lot of real quick 2-minute training videos that at the end it says sign up for my webinar, sign up for my event, sign up. We have a amazing event in 2 weeks with 2 agents from LA coming into town. We have room for 100 people. We will try to fill that. And at that, that's not a recruiting event. It is truly just a training event. Again, if they like you, we develop relationships, we have talks later. It's all building that funnel from the top. And that's what my partner does with me, is she throws everything into the funnel, whether it be an email, a call, social media, a webinar, whatever. And she's throwing everything into that funnel. And then the only place I touch it again is when it gets out of the funnel and we have that one-on-one business planning at clinic. I'll tell you too, those business planning clinics or strategy sessions or whatever we want to call them, those are not hard. Unfortunately, I say almost the same thing every time, because as you know, Frank, there's really one real way to do this business, and that's through your database, through open houses, through different things. It's not difficult. If you talk to the best agents in the country, their business plans are going to be very similar. And we talk about 250 contacts we want you to bring in, then we want you to call them. We want you to do 6 open houses. We want you to walk 100 doors a week, all these different things. And it's the exact same conversation with each person because it's the exact thing that works. So those conversations are not difficult. They're easy. And by the way, when they come into your office, if they went through the struggle of making the phone call and swallowing their pride a little bit and saying, I need help, I guarantee you they don't have a database. And that's the easiest thing to coach, is get a database. And that's what we do. So I provide value. It's easy value, but the agents who are coming in they're not there. Their brokerages haven't taught them. I'm a firm believer, unless you get with some of these big national brokerages, a lot of the local brokerages just don't know the model. And the model is really simple, from agent to agent to agent. Any of your agents, Frank, we talk, I guarantee our models are similar. There's going to be little differences, but they're going to be similar. So that's what we teach in our strategy sessions. I am getting a lot of them. I'm probably averaging 2 a week. Now, there's a lot of people not ready to move, and that's fine. We're just here when you want to.
So you started to get this going on, is you decided to get a separate CRM or some type of separate place to hold all your agent relationships from your maybe consumer CRM, ideally.
We definitely have 2.
Yeah, so you have 2, which is what I recommend, because usually one CRM is set up for buyers and sellers. That sales process, that attraction process is very different than for agents. And
I think our recruiting CRM was free, I believe.
Yeah,
No?
I mean, well, there's some you can use. I mean, if I were to tell you guys probably what CRM I would personally use for recruiting, I'm a big fan of the Zoho suite, Zoho. And they have like a Zoho CRM's been around forever. It's wonderful. I think it's a little overkill for agent recruiting. It's called Zoho Begin, BIGIN. And it's real cheap, and it's a great little CRM to put all your agent relationships into. That's simple and cheap and easy and works, and it's great. So that's what I would just personally use, but there's many CRMs, you pick whatever you want. The point is having one. And then from there, you would go through your Facebook, and you would go through your cell phone, and you would go through all of your agents on the other side of the transaction, and start typing all those names in. You know, one of the nice things there, and it's kind of cool, is you can go into Facebook now and export all your Facebook friends. It won't give you the contact information, but it will give you like a nice just list of all your friends. Like nice. If you export your data, and then you just go through and start circling. Oh, I know that agent. Oh, that agent. You start circling all the agents, right? Right. And then you put those in your CRM, right? Same thing with maybe your cell phone contacts, or you go to your broker, you look at all the agents on the other side. You'd be like, do these people know me? Like, do I know them? Is there some inkling of a relationship there? Then you throw them all in there. Fair enough. And then you write them all. This is what you did, Darin. Hey, everyone. It's Darin Zuber. You're in Fresno. And, you know, market's changing. I updated the business plan that I'm teaching our agents here. I just figured we'll probably do a deal together, or we'll probably do a transaction, or we know each other in some way. But we're all in this crazy business called real estate. And I figured it'd be kind of cool if I could maybe, after all the, Darin, how many years have you been doing this?
25.
After 25 years, I might have some interesting insights to help you all out. So I'm gonna start sending you some videos from time to time of answering some commonly asked business questions we get from agents. So the same questions I'm answering from my agents, I'll share with you. And they'll be up on my YouTube channel, my blog. And I think you might really enjoy them. And in addition to that, if you are interested in kind of learning a little more about the business plan that I recommend in this market after 25 years of experience, I'm teaching an event. It's a half day. It's over here at the Holiday Inn, or in an office, or at my mortgage title company, or maybe it's online. But you can go here and go register for the event. And also just to let you know, if you ever just need like a friend, a thinking partner, somebody to kind of guide you through what to do to get listings and sell houses and build a consistent business, I'm always here. I'm happy to help you personalize your business plan whenever you want. Just give me a call. Anyways, look forward to doing a deal with you. Thanks for being friends. Darin. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
This is recorded, by the way. So you go back and scrub through all that. But Darin sent out an email just like that. And he continues to send that list helpful stuff. Right, Darin?
Yeah. And I mean, we get a lot of people that, bite and come in, will meet with us. And you get a lot of people that won't, but then I'll see them in an event and they're like, hey, I saw your video. And then that starts a conversation. There's just so many ways that this soft touch helps me meet more people, which to me is the goal.
Yeah. So those videos go out, that content goes out to that separate CRM, and you could actually even track who clicks and watches the stuff.
Correct.
You can actually see like who's actually engaging with this stuff, which agents actually, kind of care about what I have to say. It won't relatively be much. It'll be a small percentage, right? But that's marketing.
Yep.
And then call those people that are engaging and actually physically, not physically, but on the phone, personally invite them to your event. And the goal is to kind of pack as many bodies in the room as you can of agents that might be interested in really learning from you and kind of spending time with you at scale and teaching your event. So tell me a little more about this event you have coming up. So you went to your database and you went to your agent relationships and you have X number of people showing up just to learn. It's not a recruiting event. I mean, sure, you want to sell them something down the line, but you want to hold the event intrinsically for a good event.
Yeah, and I'm doing it under my coaching and training program versus the real estate team, so that it's truly not a recruiting event. But like that event, I brought in 2 really, really high level agents from Los Angeles. So we're doing a 2-hour event. I got probably the top agent in Fresno in the last 5 years of growth. So he's going to speak for the first 45 minutes on how he's done it, which is not luxury or client experience. It's really just hustling. And then for an hour and 15 minutes, the other 2 guys are going to talk about luxury, client experience, and then, believe it or not, door knocking. They're big door knockers. So my thought was give everybody a little bit of a value on an everyday buyer and give people a value on the luxury buyer, because not everybody works luxury. And now we've put that out to the world, and I do make calls to the people I know, the people I've had transactions with. And that call's simple. I mean, the script is, hey, Jim, this is Darin Zuber. I got a great event coming up. You could learn a lot. I'm bringing in 2 guys from LA and Braden Stoltenberg from Fresno, and it's going to be an absolutely amazing event. And I promise you'll make money from this event. And that's it. All I'm doing is inviting the people I know. And if they want to come, they come. If they don't, they don't. And we usually end up 75 to 100 people at these events.
That's incredible.
Do we follow up with them? Yeah, we follow up with them. What's our follow-up? Hey, Jim, Darin Zuber with the Zuber real estate team, or Darin Zuber coaching and training. What'd you think of our event? Is there anything you would have liked to have seen? What would you like to see in the future? And you just get the conversations going. You're not recruiting. You're becoming a friend. That's it. I think if you're recruiting, you're done.
So you're following up with everyone that attends the event with you to get them to a meeting with you.
Yeah, and I'll follow up personally on a few, but that's my partner. Really, my job in all this is at the end of the funnel when we have the meeting. That's my job.
Yeah.
My partner, who's part of me, and says, Darin Zuber and I wanted to invite you to so and so. She's going to be making more of the calls. She's going to be making more of those just to see if we can get people in. Cool. Because I'm running a few businesses. I'm not going to be cold calling, recruiting after events very often. Not to say I don't. The ones I know well, I do. But most of the time, it's going to be somebody else because I'm going to leverage that out to maximize my time and time per dollar.
And isn't that great, that attraction strategy? Like, how many cold calls do you make? 0.
I don't make almost any.
How many, people do you speak with that don't respect you? 0. Yeah. All those calls you make after someone watches your content and comes to your event are very warm. And in marketing, we call that having a front end to your back end. So your back end is join my brokerage, join my team, buy my coaching, join my downline. It really doesn't matter. The front end is how do you get into a relationship with people where they like and trust you. And the timeless, true way of doing that is publishing and driving the people that consume what you publish to an event, and then driving for the people that come to the event, to the meeting.
Is it any different? Is it any different than trying to get listings? In the beginning, you're going to be boots on the ground, right? You're going to go after FSBOs, expireds, open houses, whatever. But at some point, your business is going to be big enough, you need to market. And what is every realtor's best moment of their day? If somebody calls and says, I want to list my house.
Yeah, it's best.
That's it. That's what every advertisement I do on the radio, anything, anywhere is, can I get that call? Well, recruiting is no different. Hey, Darin, I want to talk to you about brokerages. Hey, Darin, I want to talk to you about my business. All I'm looking for is that call, and everything we're doing is to get that call, because we're not calling them. We will put emails, social media, different things, but we are not calling them. The cold calling, I'm not going to say it doesn't work. I do think there's a way it can. Hard. It's just, I think it's a lot less personal.
So let's talk about this 36 touch plan then. Okay. Yep. So this is great. I want to recruit some people. So now I need to make sure I get lots of meetings, 2-3 meetings a week that you're taking. But the meetings aren't recruiting appointments. They're just discussions about helping someone grow their business, maybe personalizing a plan for them. Got it? But those meetings are coming from events. The best way to generate meetings is by calling the people that come to your events, right?
Yes.
And you put the event on for the sake of the event. It's not a recruiting event. It's totally separate. It's like literally an event that people pay a ticket for that is designed to deliver value intrinsically to the event. But how do you get people to the events? How do you get 100 people to show up to an event? And generally that's just going to every relationship that you have and trying to maintain some type of relationship in a one-to-many way at scale, which is really what we all know in real estate as a 36 touch to your buyers and sellers. But you had to put a 36 touch in place for agents, right? And that to all the agents, that second CRM that we spoke about. So what is that touch plan? What do you send out to stay in touch?
Well, we're sending out a newsletter that Frank helps us build. We're sending out videos left and right saying, this is something I was thinking about today that I think the real estate world would want to know about. Frank helps us with those videos, gives us ideas. I will tell you the majority of them I've been doing lately, I've been doing on my own.
Sure.
I just find questions in my day for my team. And I'm like, that would be a great conversation for a 2-minute video. And whether that be open houses, follow up, time blocking, anything, it doesn't matter. And that's what we're doing in that 36 touch is we're sprinkling them with little bits of value with back end value connected to it through an event.
Yeah.
So the little bits of value get them intrigued. If we get them to the event, we're doing well. If we don't get them to the event, we still call them and thank them, you know, would you like to come to the next event? The only call, and like, I do know a lot of people in my market. I personally will call probably 75 people and invite 75 people to this event, but I know every single one. Every single one's a friend of mine. So we will make personal calls on this, but they're not cold calls. They're people we know. Either we've done transactions with, or we've worked well together, or we just happen to know them. Like tonight, I'm going to a affiliates event for our Fresno Association of Realtors. Why am I going to that? Meet more people, put them into the funnel, get to know more people, be able to call more people when we have events. I met with the leader of the Young Professionals Network this morning saying, how do we get more of your young professionals to come to these free events? Because I think they're valuable as can be. And he agreed. So him and I are going to be working on that. So him and I will be working on people I don't know, but through him who I do know. So you sprinkle them with that 36 touch. The owner of Keller Williams came up with the 36 touch, I believe, in the Red Book. The 36 touch works for clients. It works for agents. It works for anybody. You have to be top of mind. And that's what viral produces for us, is we're top of mind. I don't think we can't be. And I Frank, I don't know. You and I haven't really talked about this. I really see a year or two from now being 5 times better than today, because then they will have gotten a 36 touch 3 or 4 years in a row.
Yeah. I mean, some of my best conversations, and I've been doing this for 10 years, is like, Frank, I've been following you forever. I'm ready. Send me the contract.
Well, and by the way, I did it with you. I flirted
I think
with,
you're one of them. Yeah.
I flirted with your
point.
company for probably 2 years on this, saw people at events, every event I went to, and I never signed up, but you guys kept on touching me. You kept on sending me things. Some was your follow-up program for real estate. Some was recruiting. And eventually, I don't even remember where I got it, but at one of the events, I told somebody, okay, I'm ready. It took me 2 years.
Yeah. And you're watching something like this. So
Yeah.
let me maybe break down a little bit, Darin, more specifics as we wrap up here. The 36 touch plan that Darin follows is 3 pieces of content a month. All right. 2 pieces of content are just little helpful, quick videos shot on your webcam, shot on your iPhone. Whether you record those with us, where we coach you through it, and we use a wonderful product called riverside.fm. Go check out riverside.fm. It's awesome. It's a great way to do interviews and podcasts and studio quality with anybody anywhere. All right. And it's nice to have someone direct you, which is where Darin started. But eventually, you're like, I don't really know any of the appointment and the hand holding so much, so to speak. I'll just grab my phone and selfie it and send it in. Fine. Right. The point is you get the video content. So Darin comes up with, he's listening for 2 business questions he's getting on the ground from agents right now, every single month. And then he answers them. Right, Darin?
Yes.
And then the third message, is some type of call to action for immediate response to generate like a lead or a candidate in this case. This could be, hey, I'm holding an event. Come get a free ticket. Hey, I just maybe put up my new listing process that we're using here. Go download it. Hey, if you want to call with me to help sort out what you should do for the coming shift storm. I like that. I've heard that in some of the marketing, the shift storm, right? I'm happy to take a call with you. Book a call here. Click here to book a call with me, right? Maybe I'm holding an open house at my office, or I'm going to show you how the whole office works. Come get a ticket. So you come up with these, reasons for someone to basically give you their contact information, that they're interested in something a little more tangible, maybe just, getting your videos. And those are called your monthly direct offer, monthly lead generation messages. So 2 helpful educational messages a month, emailed out and posted on social media. Gosh, my nose today. And then some type of monthly lead generation message. And then what do? You follow up with the leads of the people that opt in to come to the event or a call. And you follow up with the people that click the links in those emails to bring them to an event or a call. And whether it's you making those calls or you're lucky enough to have the money to have someone else make them, all the better. Right?
Yeah.
You now have an attraction-based marketing plan.
And that's it. It's no different than my radio. I mean, I do radio. I spend $10,000 a month on radio. All I'm trying to do is get people into the funnel.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed that today. I promised you today. So in the write-up, we promised Darin's 36 touch agent recruiting marketing plan. We discussed some of the rookie mistakes, what he wouldn't do. We discussed what he would do. We discussed the funnel. We discussed the process and the philosophies behind it. And then we gave some of the tangible things that Darin's doing. Darin, what's your recruiting website or your agent training website, I should say, where someone can maybe go and see some of the stuff that you're publishing?
I believe it's darinzuber.com, DARINZUBER, Z as in zebra, U, B as in boy, ER.com, darinzuber.com. We have everything there. We do trainings every 2 weeks. We do events quarterly, and I do sessions whenever. Frank and I were talking, I want to bring one more thing up. Frank and I were talking about the possibility of one of our videos. And I mean, you could be as simple as what I wish I could tell 25-year-old me in real estate. Like, and that's it. And it's that easy, guys. Like, I really have an opinion on that. Like, if some of these brokerages existed when I was 25, I'd be making millions of dollars a year right now.
Yeah. So that's your next topic.
Yes.
What I would tell my 25-year-old self entering real estate.
Hey,
There it is.
do you watch? I'm sorry, I get excited about this stuff, so I like talking to you. But do you watch Colin Cowherd at all on his new podcast?
I do not.
He's a sports guy. Anyway, he's got this new podcast called The Volume, and he's got some other people under it. But he said, like, when he has a TV show, but when he's at home, his line is, "Hey, this is the question I thought you might ask, and I want to answer before you ask." And then he goes into whatever his knowledge is about real estate. I think it's a great move. I think it's cool. That's it. Like, we're just here to provide things that you want. And that's what Colin Cowherd does. And he could be a little more abrasive about it from a podcast than on TV. And it's really fun to watch. And I don't think that's any different than what we're doing. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a really good job at it, Darin. So
Thank you.
30 minutes, we'll go ahead and include there. I want to thank everyone for watching. DarinZuber.com if you want to see what Darin's up to and talk to him. And obviously, if you're interested in some help, like I'm supporting Darin here at Viral Marketing, go to viralmarketing.com, VYRAL, and you take a look at our company and you can see we have our 36 touch marketing plan for the consumer list, your buyers and sellers. And that same exact 36 touch plan can also apply, like we talked about today, to attracting agents into your world. And they're both available to you at the same price for the execution up on our company, on our website. So,
And I will tell you, Frank, I'm going to give you a shameless plug here just for a second.
thanks.
We got in with the recruiting thing because that was the need at the time. We are now transitioning towards your 36 touch for clients
Yeah, good.
that we're going to start doing as well because we like this program so much. Now we know that program,
Yeah.
and
We'll
our
have
whole
2
business,
accounts.
our whole business will be based around viral.
Oh, love that. Yeah, so you'll have the 36 touch for consumers, the
Yep.
plan there, and then you'll have the 36 touch for the agents, and you're running both.
And the only difference, instead of talking about real estate type things for agents, should I sell my house now? Do interest rates matter? Whatever the questions the buyers and sellers are asking, that's all we're putting out. It's simple.
It is simple, Darin. All right. Everyone, thanks for attending. We'll have the replay being sent out. Darin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.